Hi everyone, George here, Catholic Positive Energy. Nice to see you. I want to talk about something. I just thought about this topic just before I came on because of some things that I went through today. I want to talk about fault finding and how that's wrong and how that's terrible. I'll go through some things. In some of the earlier videos that I've talked about, you'll probably see this in Catholic Positive Energy number 1 or number 2. I talked about this in number 2. So I grew up as an only child, and my parents constantly would want to find fault with everything I do. Literally, everything I do. And there are times they're still doing it to me this day. And as far as, I'll just briefly talk about my dad. Now I know this will be putting some information out there, but I'd like to know that I can talk to you guys as a family, as good friends, because you're following me here and you're supporting me here. I didn't have the best dad in the world. Maybe some of you would like to, buy your father a coffee mug that says world's greatest dad. Well, if you were to ask me a question regarding that, I'll just say it this way. I would say no comment. Yeah, my dad never likes to praise me or dignify me. As a matter of fact, one of the main reasons that I came up with my catchphrase, dignification is better than criticism, is because of my dad. He always wants to be negative and find faults and treat me badly. It's been that way my whole life. And let's just say, well, you seeing the way I feel and hearing me talk the way I'm talking, that hasn't made me happy. And that's what I want to point out to you guys. Fault finding. I'm especially, this message is for everybody out there, for all the parents out there, and especially uncles and aunts. For any of you who is about to become a parent, please listen to me very carefully. The most terrible thing that you can ever do to your children is to constantly find fault with the things they do. Okay? I talk about this pretty much almost in every video that I post about fault finding. So, how would you feel if you constantly had, your mom or your dad or some family member in your life constantly telling you what you did wrong all the time, pointing out all your mistakes and constantly talking about it to you every time you do something? Oh, you didn't wash the dishes correctly. You didn't really clean your room. You didn't clean this properly. You didn't do this right. You didn't do that right. Now, if you heard that constantly, like every day or every week, wouldn't it drive you crazy? Would you feel that that was something that helped you, all that constant nitpicking, fault finding? Would you say to your dad, "Oh, I'm so happy that you did that. You've really brightened my day. I'm really grateful that you talk to me like that and that you make me feel this way"? I actually made a rhyme. I wasn't even trying to. But like I say, fault finding doesn't make me happy at all. As a matter of fact, I really don't like being criticized. I don't like it when anybody criticizes me because of all of this. Dignification is better than criticism. Yeah, because I don't like criticism. So, yeah, the worst possible thing you can do to someone especially a loved one, is to criticize them. It's not a good thing. I mean, I've mentioned this before. I know I mentioned this in my very first video in Catholic Positive Energy number 1. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. I can't remember the exact words in that scripture, but I know that says it all. You know, to have more encouraging words when you talk to others. Amen. I mean, obviously, and listen, for any of you watching this, I really want to see comments on this video. I mean, obviously, let's say I was criticizing people in my videos, if I was bad-mouthing people, if I was putting people down, I don't think any of you would be here. I probably wouldn't have any followers at all if I was being negative. There are some people out there who have YouTube channels and probably Facebook pages who are very well known for bad-mouthing a lot of people, for never having anything nice to say. I'm not going to name them, but like I say, they're out there. How do those people make you feel? The ones who are most famous for bad-mouthing people, for putting people down, bullying people, pointing out faults. Maybe something might be popping in your head right now. A certain judge who's famous for judging people in certain competitions and saying things that are not very nice. I think some of you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say the name. But yeah, some of you know who I'm talking about. Someone who's very famous for that. So, I'm not proud of people who do that. Even if it's just an act, I don't care. I mean, I'm talking about reality, not acts. Not something that's just pretend. There needs to be dignification in this world. I see somebody's watching me on the Facebook page. I can't see who it is. Well, if you make a comment, I'll acknowledge you. Thank you for being here. Obviously, yeah, I'm just referring to families because obviously little children grow up in families. If a lot more small children heard some very positive, encouraging words constantly, regularly from their families, boy, the next generation of people in this world, do you have any idea how much more positive energy we would have? How much more kindness we would have? It would go through the roof. But like I say, pretty much everybody I know, you know, I think every single person I know, because I can't think off the top of my head now anybody who I've ever met or who I'm friends with right now, whoever said to me that their mom and dad or whoever were always constantly building them up, saying nice, positive things. I can't think of anybody. Every single person I know has either gotten worse than I did or pretty much the same thing. You know, oh yeah, my mom and dad are constantly finding fault with the things that I do. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. That hurts me. I don't want to see them. I don't want to talk to them. You know, that, exactly. Yeah. You see what criticism does to people? Criticism hurts the people around you. It hurts people. It's a form of verbal abuse. I said this a couple of videos ago. Criticism is a form of verbal abuse when it's happening constantly. You think, you know, foul language or saying whatever other nasty things to people is a form of verbal abuse. Criticism is as well. It's also a hurtful thing. Like I say, whenever you guys watch, maybe YouTube videos now of the late Mr. Rogers. Did he ever criticize anybody? For the most part, pretty much, no. He always looked on the bright side all the time and had nice things to say, even about terrible people. You see, that's where that's another thing I want to move on to, the Catholic side. Saying nice things about people who are terrible to us. I'll admit I don't do that. So hopefully maybe much later on down the line I'll talk about that in a future broadcast. Saying nice things about people who hurt us. Does anybody here do that? I'm just curious. If you do, please make a comment, whether you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube. I really want to know. Do you say nice things about people who are terrible to you? Please share your methods. I don't mind if I see long comments. Here's something I want to throw out. I'm sure a lot of you who do watch my videos, you don't always make comments. Here's something I want to let you know. Even if you have a really long comment, something that would be helpful, and you're making a contribution, putting out your 2 cents, your thoughts about the things that I'm saying, I don't mind if I see long comments, as long as they don't have anything mean and you're not selling things. But if you have some long comments to make about my videos, and as long as you're contributing to the discussion and we're having a productive conversation, I want to see those comments. I really do. I really do. Make your long comments. They're totally acceptable. Let's have a nice, productive discussion, and I don't mind it at all. So yeah, I don't think I can stress that any more than I already have here. I mean, me personally, if I received a lot more positive dignification and praise when I was younger, I'd be a lot happier today. But, that's in the past. Unfortunately, I'm going to use some Avengers Endgame analogy here. I can't go back into the quantum tunnel into the past and travel back through time and change things in my life. I wish I could. I truly wish I could, but I'd change a lot of other things in the process, unfortunately. And I'm just curious. Here's something here. I want to try to obviously, talk on a funny level to you guys. I don't want anybody to think I'm boring and that I'm serious. I'm not. I'm actually very, very playful. Let me see. Looking for my drink, sorry. Oh boy. I know I had one in here. There it is. Anyways, if I have any viewers here who are time travelers or who know someone who is, let me know. Just a little, yeah, just thought I'd say that. But anyways, like I say, fault finding is a bad thing. I've noticed nobody likes it when people points out their faults. But for the people who are constantly pointing out other people's faults, when somebody does it to them, they don't like it. Hey, why are you pointing out my faults? Well, you do it to me all the time, so I want to see if you can dish it as well as you can take it. Oh, So yes, fault finding is wrong. One of the most hurtful things you can ever do to someone is to find fault with the things that they do. And everybody's got faults. Don't get me wrong. I do have faults. I don't think I'm perfect. I just don't like to constantly be told, constantly what my faults are. I have a very good memory and my ears work really well. I can hear. I can understand. If you were to tell me, George, you made a mistake when you did this, okay. I don't need to hear it 20,000 more times. I heard it once, and that's all I need to hear. If somebody really does want to correct me. But you see my point. You know, if we said a lot more nicer things to the people around us, this world would be a much better place. Truly. But the fact that these things are not happening, that's why we have the world that we have. And certainly, we could use a lot more dignification in this world. But like I say, for those of you who hopefully are believers, and especially those of you who have Bibles at home, please look at 1 Thessalonians 5:11. That'll talk a lot about positive encouragement. I see I have a friend here, my friend Cheryl Mustacho. Well, good morning to you. It's evening here where I'm at. So, I definitely love to see people who are watching me when I'm live. So, if I see comments, if I see people, then I will acknowledge you. So, thank you, Cheryl. And I definitely hope you guys, let me know if what I'm doing is really making an impact in your life. Because, like I say, fault finding, it's a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. I don't like to be around people who constantly want to point out other people's mistakes. It's not fun at all. So thank you for listening to me here. Please always remember, now that's why I say dignification is better than criticism. So one thing I want to just leave you with is, for all of you who have children, especially for those of you who are about to have children for the first time, always remember, praise your children. Dignify your children. Say nice, positive things that will build them up. And they will love you with all their heart. They will think the world of you. I once had a nephew. I still have a nephew. When he was younger, I would always, hug him and tell him he's a good boy all the time. I never had anything negative to say to him. He's a good kid. He's a good boy. And whenever he would see me after that, he would always like to run up to me and give me a hug. He was always so excited to see me. Now, do you think he would have been excited to see me if I was criticizing him a lot? No. No, he wouldn't want to see me at all. Instead of running towards me to give me a hug, he'd probably want to run away from me and not want to talk. If I was criticizing him. So that's why I've noticed, and I've lived this, building up younger people. They will love you for that. They truly will. And for the people who build me up, even though I'm an adult, I am very grateful for that. I see I have another viewer here. Please forgive me if I don't pronounce your name correctly. Jerry LeBlanc. Welcome, Jerry. I hope you please watch this video from the very beginning, since you're just now joining us. I'm about to wrap it up here. So, please, don't find fault with the people in your life, the people who you're close to. It's not a good thing. So I just want to say, since I already said dignification is better than criticism, for those of you who have small children, please say as many positive things to them about them as you can. God bless.